Hello everyone, Michael Wolfe for WatchReport.com. Today we're going to take a look at a new watch model from Straton Watches. This is the Curve. It is actually live on Kickstarter right now. So go on out to Kickstarter and search up the Straton Curve. The one on my wrist there's actually a couple of different models that are going to be produced of the Curve, variations as far as case finishing and so forth as well, dial colors, etc. But I have a couple of prototypes for everyone to get a good look at, get a feel for these watches, and I think everybody's going to be really pleased with the end product. The one on my wrist is the Curve with the NE88 Seiko automatic movement. It's a popular movement that Seiko uses in some of their higher end watches. And this one will be available in various color combinations and so forth, but I believe there's only going to be 125 of the curves with the NE88 automatic movement in them. But for those lucky few that'll grab those, this is what the prototype looks like, at least one of the variations that are going to be available with the NE88. 7 3/4 inch wrist, a lot of wrist presence. The curves will be available in either a 42 millimeter case size or a 39.5 millimeter case size. This is the 42, obviously. The lug to lug on the 42 is 47.4. On the 39.5, it'll be 46.5. The case thickness with a dome sapphire, this is slightly domed. I don't know if that shows up very well or not, but is 14.5, and it'll be slightly under 14 with a flat sapphire crystal. So that's what it looks like on a 7 3/4 inch wrist. Now, the quartz model that'll be available looks completely identical on the wrist, except for various complications on the dial and so forth. But as far as a 42 millimeter quartz case, it's going to look the same. So I'm not going to put on the quartz watch, but I will show them side by side there for you, so you can see what they look like. This being the automatic, and this one over here is the quartz, which will house the Seiko VK64 mechaquartz hybrid. And what that is, I'll show you that in just a moment. That I recently did another review with the VK64 in it, and it's just a pretty cool quartz movement. Now, the difference in pricing, the automatic is going to run $698 USD, and the quartz is going to run $286, and that's the Kickstarter prices. I'm not sure what the prices will be after Kickstarter, but those are the Kickstarter prices. The other main difference, besides the movement and the different variations that you can get with case and dial color and so forth, the automatic weighs 126 grams, and the quartz weighs about 99 grams. So the quartz is a little bit lighter. But there you get a good idea of what they look like. So I'm going to move over to the quartz, because everybody knows what an automatic movement, how it functions. Well, real quick, just so you know, on the automatic version, there's a running second hand at the 3 o'clock position, and then you've got your central chronograph hand, and then your 30-minute counter, or 30-minute counter at the 9. Now, on the VK64, as far as the complications and the dial difference, you have a 24-hour counter at the 24-hour time display, I should say, at the 3, and then your 60-minute chronograph second hand at the 9, and then your central chronograph second hand. Now, the big difference, that or something that a lot of people may not know, why should I buy or why should I buy a quartz? The VK64 is quite cool in a couple of regards. They tout that the movement, as you can see, the second hand, the chronograph second hand, as it begins to move, they tout that it has a smooth sweep similar to an automatic movement. I don't necessarily see that with the chronograph second hand, but the one thing that is kind of cool is when you stop the chronograph second hand and reset, it has the instant zero reset, which is something that is found on, say, the Value 7750 and so forth, rather than that second hand running all the way through the time zones back to zero reset. So I love that feature. Then again, they say it ticks or moves along similar to an automatic, but I don't see that part of it. Now, all of the markers inside of the dial are applied, which is, again, a very high-end detail feature that you're going to see on this particular watch. As of right now, again, keep in mind, these are prototypes. So we have a screw-down crown, function pushers. The crown is not signed or anything like that. The crown at the 10 just moves freely, rotating the inner bezel. So, with that being said, some of the things that will be taking place when the final production pieces are released, the crown, the main crown at the 3 is going to have the S logo. The Straton logo is probably similar, or at least very similar, if not the same as the one that is on the dial. The crown here at the 10 o'clock is going to be screwed down, and I think that's super important, because if it's not screwed down, you're constantly going to be knocking that inner bezel out of place. And so if you're wanting to use that inner bezel as a secondary time zone, that's pretty much making it counterproductive. So with it being screwed down, you're going to be able to lock in that secondary time zone. Now, also from what I've been told, the gearing on that internal bezel, right now it just moves very freely. I was advised that it's going to be quite a bit stiffer. I don't know if that means that there's going to be like some subtle clicks, or if it's just going to be stiff overall. I'm not sure. But that will also aid in getting that secondary time zone set precisely when you screw down the crown. And the loom on the hands and the hour markers are going to be stronger. Now, it's also going to be C3 Superluminova. So let me turn the lights off here. I want to see if I can show you what the C3 looks like right now. And it's got it's pretty nice, but the final production will be stronger than this. So the case backs. Let's move on to that next. This is the B style case back. There's an A style case back, which I was not provided. The automatic that was sent to me has the same exact case back, but the A style case back is a little bit more busy, so you'll have to go out to the Kickstarter site and take a look at that. I like this case back better. It's my preference over the other one. Now, all the watches will come with a really nice leather strap. The straps themselves, the quality is nice. They've got a nice signed buckle. And then there are also some NATO strap options that you'll get. But as you can see, it's a nice signed thumbnail buckle. But let me just put this on again real quick. The issue at 7 3/4, that's where I'm at on the strap. There's one upsizing hole. These straps are really short. I didn't get any information on whether or not these straps will be available in longer lengths, but anybody 8 inches and over could have some problems with these straps. So keep that in mind. But with this really cool vintage style case, it actually looks like a certain watch model from a company beginning in O that everybody, I'm sure, is quite familiar with, but I think it has some strong resemblances to that watch model. Any type of of strap's going to be nice. I know these are racing and driving inspired timepieces, but a nice, vintage canvas or something like that would look really cool on this as well. So, short straps. Quality straps, but short straps. Now, besides the watch, I normally don't go into packaging very much, but you do get a nice, cool zipper style case, which will protect your watch really well. And then one of the other things the Kickstarter campaign is offering are some racing driving gloves, and this is a nice example of those gloves. And the gloves, I believe, on the Kickstarter campaign for a pair are around $91 or something like that. So, but you can check that out over on the Kickstarter campaign. So, there you have it. This is the new Straton Curve, available in automatic Seiko NE88 or quartz VK64, and this has that instant reset 0, so it's a really cool feature. But I think Straton has done a great job with these vintage inspired driving racing style pieces. I think everybody will be really pleased with them, especially after the upgrades on the actual production pieces that are sent out with the sign crown, the screw down crown at the 10, and the higher quality C3 Superluminova on the dial. So I'd like to thank Straton for the opportunity to check out these prototypes, and would like to thank each one of you for watching. So go on out to watchreport.com, check out the full written review. I'll have additional thoughts, comments, and photos there, and stay tuned for my next video presentation.